Hey everyone, it's Steve from the garden. Now that the leaves are starting to fall, it's time for me to fill up my compost bins to get my hot composting started. So I've already went and picked up a load of horse manure, and I got my riding lawnmower set up to collect all the leaves. So I'm going to take you over to the compost bins now and show you what we're going to be doing. So these are the bins I'm going to fill up. I got this one, which I've been filling with garden waste. I got a bin here that's empty. I got my worm bin, which I'm going to just top off with some horse manure and leaves. My leaf mold bin, which I'll top off with just leaves. And then I have this empty bin, which is bigger than the others, that I'm going to fill with the combination of horse manure and leaves. This bin I've been filling with the garden waste and garden cleanup. So this material is all pretty lightweight, and as I start putting leaves and horse manure in here, it's going to all compress down. Not all these bins are going to get filled today. After all, there's a lot of leaves still on the trees. But over the next few weeks, as the leaves fall, I'll be filling up the bins and mixing in layers of compost and horse manure. And I'll bring you in periodically to show you the progress. For the first bin, I'm putting a pipe in the center. That's just to help create some aeration. When I pull the pipe out, there'll be like a little air spot to help keep air and oxygen through the pile so it doesn't go anaerobic. Since most of this material is fairly dry, I'm going to start with the horse manure first. I will also add water in periodically so that the thermophilic bacteria have the water they need to do their job. You can see this material is a mixture of the leaves and the grass. I haven't cut the grass in a couple of weeks, but that mix of the nitrogen from the grass with the carbon from the leaves makes a good combination. And this material's still a little bit dry, so I'm going to water this in too. I'm going to keep repeating the process of doing a layer of horse manure and a layer of the leaves and grass until this bin is full. This horse manure is pretty fresh, so even in the totes it's already getting warm. So what this horse manure consists of is it contains some of the feed, but they use pine shavings at this stable to soak up the urine while they're in the stall. And so that pine shavings contains the carbon and the urine contains a lot of nitrogen. So it creates a nice balance also. I have the first bin filled up, and you can see it's almost to the top. Actually, I had filled it up to the top and it's already settling a little bit. But we'll check on this tomorrow and see how the material drops down. Right now the temperature is just a little over 80 degrees. And I'm thinking by tomorrow it'll probably be in the 130 level. The worm bin had one layer of leaves put on, a layer of horse manure, and another layer of leaves. And that'll be good enough for right now. I don't want to build it up too much where it gets too hot for the worms that are in the compost in the bottom. The leaf mold bin is not filled up yet, but over the next week or so I'll get this one filled up too. Now this level will also drop pretty rapidly, and I'll have to top it off a couple times. It's been a couple days since I filled the bin, and you can see the material level has already dropped. It's probably dropped 10 inches or so, because it was right up pretty much to the top. Now the next day after I filled it, the temperature had reached 160. And if we look at it now, it's about 150. So this weekend I will top this off again with more leaves, grass, and horse manure to bring the level back up to the top. Okay, so I topped up the bin one more time. You can see it's just below where the woven ground cover starts. Now what I ended up putting in here was a layer of leaves, some garden waste, and then another layer of horse manure. And I got my thermometer back in place. Now that I have this bin topped off again, I don't really expect it to heat up quite the way it did the first time. And that's because I didn't add that much material to it, and I didn't stir up like the middle at all. In another week or so, I'll probably have to flip it from here into this other bin, which you might be able to see I have some material down there already. And this space isn't nearly as big as where it's at right now, but there'll be enough space where if I flip it over, I can leave it in there for a week or so, and then flip it back. And that'll be enough to just kind of get all the materials like remixed together, get oxygen back in the middle, and allow it to heat up another time. I hope you'll follow along as I go through and do these composting bins and get them started. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you got something out of this, and we'll see you on the next one.